happy to have you. It is about 8:30. We are in the middle of July. 95 degrees. It's going to get much hotter. We have been dealing with a lot of monsoon type weather. So I got out here early this morning. I want to show you a few things that we are doing. You can see that we still have some melons coming on. Here's a baby right here, and here's another one right here. But look at that one. I'm going to have to take that one off, I think. We'll see if it does anything, but I don't think so. And then, now look at this one. He's all weird shaped. They say when that happens, they're not getting enough water. But I have been watering these guys like crazy. So I'm thinking, if you remember when we put this in, it's only about 6 inches. So it might not have enough root space. It might be hitting that dirt and the roots aren't being able to get deeper. So I'm not sure what it is, but I had a watermelon that looked like that and it did straighten itself out. So we'll see what happens there. We've gotten 2 nice water babies, but you can see that the sun, especially on these ends of the trellis, it's just frying my leaves. But I'm gonna leave them. I'm gonna let them keep going here, and we just keep feeding it through. They don't always want to stay. They're like, no, don't make me.
That's conformity for you.
There you go.
This
Do
doesn't
as I
look
say.
pretty.
And so as we're moving along here, up here, I got these little hammocks from Amazon. I know I talked about them a little bit before. Now, this is actually the end, and you're supposed to be able to put your melon in there, and it's supposed to sit in this bag. Well, when I did that, it was going so far down, and you tie it, and it's tying off at the top of the vine. And I didn't like how it was doing that. It seemed like it was cutting off some circulation. So I just made it a little hammock bed. I just tied both ends of it and then just made a little bed for it so that the stress is off of the vine, but nothing's pinching on the vine. And I like it better that way. It's heck trying to get them back off with the knots you have to put in there, but it seems to work better. So I went along this morning. This is a watermelon. This is one of our lemon drops, and this is a lemon drop. Watermelon. And see, you can see on this one that it's not uniform. And they say when they don't do uniform, then they're not going to ripen correctly. But like I said, the one did, so we're gonna let it go. Here's an Armenian cucumber right here. That's a baby. And what else do we have on this side? We brought all of the peppers in here because they were getting too much sun outside of this area. And of course, I've shown you how we've got this all shaded off with the shade cloth. So we are covered in peppers in the inside of this.
I want to know what's going on in the barrel.
I'll get to that in a second. That's funny. Okay, so lemon drop. And then look at this. I am so sad. We don't know what happened, but we found a bunch of ants on this plant. And the fruit that was on it was ripening really quickly. It wasn't ready, and then it was cracking. So I'm sure that's what brought in the ants. But I'm gonna have to tear this down, you guys. I'm so sad. This is my Kajari plant, and the melons were so good. But you can see, I mean, look at this. I don't know. One day it was beautiful, the next it's crazy. And I'm not finding anything on it to tell me what's happening. The fruit, look at the fruit on this. It is like all getting ripened really quickly. And I don't know what's happening here. I'm thinking maybe again, it's at the end of the trellis and it's getting too much of that blistering sun. I mean, we've been up to 115 this past week, so it's really hot. Now on this side, we have watermelons. Oh, and look at our hibiscus. Look at this, you guys. They're starting to grow so much. I don't know if Candace can get this little guy right here. You see that? There's a little flower right there. We got our first little flower. I thought we had flowers before, but they like dropped off. So we'll see if that one stays on. So we got a watermelon that came outside of the netting, So I moved the pot over here so that he had something to sit in, so his vine wasn't getting stretched. And then we have more watermelons on that side and more peppers on that side. And I put hammocks around all of those. So now we had compost and dirt in here, getting ready for that blackberry raised bed that we were going to do back there, and then it got so hot we just kind of put it to a halt right now because it's so hot. Well, I don't know what was in my compost that hadn't totally decomposed, but well, I do know what it is. It's more melons. Every time I turn around, I have volunteer melons everywhere. So let's see. Here's one right here. More melons. You know what? I'll take them. I love them. Oh, look at that. There's 2 more right there. There's another one.
Oh my goodness.
There's another one right there, and there's a baby right there. Another one there.
How comical. That is hilarious.
Isn't this amazing? I just love volunteers, and volunteers tend to do better than anything else because they start when they're supposed to start, and they're just totally with nature.
You can just see all the bees flying past.
It's crazy.
I showed him the bee bath.
There's bees everywhere. It's like, oh look, there's one. Look, get him, get him, get him.
Where?
He's in the water. Help him out.
Oh, honey. Come on.
They try drowning themselves all the time.
Come on.
I
There you
don't know
go.
how many lives we've saved. There's 2 more. One's trying to climb up on the top of another one.
Oh, and this is what we call,
Crazy bees.
no, this is what we call the Titanic reincarnate.
Okay, so the next thing we have to do is try to figure out where we're getting the ant infestation. So let's show you first.
Don't mind the weeds. That's our next job today.
Yes, that's the next thing. I think there's ants in here. So I got to get some gloves on and deal with that. And then I'm going to cut back this alyssum, and it'll reseed itself. But when it gets hot, it just dies off.
Oh, beautiful.
And remember how we cut back the basil, and we did that huge harvest? Look, it's already coming back like crazy. I did cut one back too far, and I'm sad because it's the opal. It was the opal basil right here, and it died off. So you want to cut them back, but you don't want to cut them back too far because, let's see, you got to pinch off those flowers so that they don't do that. I'm going to wait for another big harvest, and then I'll be taking you along with me, and we're going to make some freezer pesto. So that should be really good. So
Our cacti experiment didn't go too well.
no, look at that, you guys. It's just, you
The
know,
rocks.
you think because they're succulents they should be able to handle the heat, but they can't. These rocks are way too hot for these cacti. So I'm hoping that we can at least keep, you know, enough green on them at the base to where
They'll
this
come
is
back.
shading them. And then see, there's a little bit of green at the base, but I'm not going to cut it. I'm going to let this shade it so that when it gets cooler I can cut this back, and then that can come back. So right now it looks like those two, this one can come back, this one's done, and that was so beautiful. It had such beautiful pretty stems on it. This one's totally done. But here's the crazy thing, you can come back here. It depends on the succulents that you're doing, because this area back here in between these 2 walls, it gets hot. I mean, when you water, you just feel the steam coming off of this wall. But look at these guys. These guys are just crazy. They don't mind it. There's certain cacti that can handle the heat, and there's others that just can't. And we put this in this pot, and look at that. It's already got tons of little babies in this pot. They just grow like weeds. So aloe does really well in the heat. Any kind of aloe. So that's what we're doing right now. Here in a little while, I'm going to take you in. I picked some lemon drops, and I've got that cucamelon that I had told you about. Excuse me, I know I'm sweating, it's hot. The cucamelon that, well, we called it a cuckoo melon because it was the one that we thought had got cross-pollinated. by the bees that I had planted, and this one was the seeds that I had saved that had sank to the bottom. And I have this huge melon in there that finally ripened, and I want to cut it open and see what that looks like. So we'll be taking you along for all of that. And then you're supposed to be able to grow summer and winter squash here. And I have some winter squash in the house that is ready to come out, but you guys, I can't bring it out yet. It's too hot. They'll just, and I have to harden them off, but it's too hot. So we're gonna up-pot those today. I'll take you along for that. So we're just doing a lot of little chores today to try to keep up on everything. And I'm probably gonna start a few more things here at the end of the month to get ready for our fall plantings. But right now, I am going to pull that kajari and I'm going to plant some seeds in the ground, see if I can get one more harvest of those melons, because like I said, they were amazing. Another melon I want to try is the tiger melon. That's another small melon that's miniature. I heard those were really good. So we will come back with you in just a little bit. Hi everybody. It is Sunday afternoon. And as I had told you, we wanted to show you what we were doing with these melons. So this is that cuckoo melon that I've been talking to you about since the beginning. The reason why we're called crazy bees. There's people that say that, well, a lot of people say that you can't cross-pollinate cucumbers and melons. But I don't know, this melon has been strange. The first time that we got it, it was this dark green and it tasted like a cucumber. And now I left it on the vine longer and now it's this yellow with an orange tinge. I've never seen a melon like this. And this time I opened it up and yet again it's orange. We're gonna see if it still tastes like cucumber. So, not sure. They say that it can't happen, but I think I have crazy bees and I think that's what happened. But this is the lemon drop melon. And when I save the seeds from these melons, I just put them into a pitcher and then I will be rinsing them off and getting all that pulp off of them. And then I will put them out on a paper towel to dry. And once they are thoroughly dried, then I will put them in a little envelope and seal them tight and keep them in a cool, dry place. So this one smells more like, kind of more like a honeydew. Now I remember why they called it the lemon drop. It's got a little bit of a tang to it. I would put it closer to a honeydew with a tang on that one. Now, the other thing with this melon, look at how meaty this thing is. It's humongous and it's meaty.
It's juicy.
And it's so juicy. And look at how thick that rind is. I got no cracking on this whatsoever. I mean, it looks very interesting on the outside, but no cracking. The Crenshaw melon, which is a cantaloupe that I love. It has such good flavor. It's so sweet. It's always cracking. They always crack. But this guy, he is just, look at that. Look at all that meat. And let's see. Now this one tastes like cantaloupe. So it doesn't have the cucumber flavor this time. It has the cantaloupe. So I have a feeling every time I try these seeds, I'm probably going to get a different variation. It's probably some type of a hybrid. So I just wanted to bring you along for that, and we're going to keep trying these seeds, and I'm going to save these ones and see what they turn out like, because I just love the meatiness of this melon. It's just, but it is the only one that I got on the vine. So I'm hoping when these guys dry out and I plant them next season that
we'll get more on the vine. So I wanted to bring you along for that. And then we are also still drying rosemary. And then I up-potted all of the squash plants and a bunch of tomato plants. So that's what we've been up to today. We're gonna keep this video shorter since we yesterday just did a 45-minute clean your house challenge. So we're gonna keep this one kind of short, and we thank you so much for taking your time to spend a little time with us, and we'll see you next week.